You wanted to climb Everest, but you got much more than you bargained for. You blew off the warnings from the locals, and now, after boarding a train to the Forbidden Mountain, you're face to face with the legendary cryptid. Plummet down the mountain if you wish to survive your encounter with the Yeti. It's Tickets Please with your host Austin Gould and Carson Gray. Have your tickets ready and get ready to join us on Expedition Everest, Legend of the Forbidden Mountain. Thank you for joining us. This is the third episode of Tickets Please, where today we'll be covering Expedition Everest. I'm your host, Austin Gould, along with the legendary Carson Gray. How are you doing, Carson?
Legend, wait for it. Dairy. I'm doing pretty well, man. Thank you. How about you?
I'm hanging in there, man. We're getting rolling with Tickets Please. Thanks again for all the support you guys have given us over the first couple of weeks. We're trying to get content out regularly for everyone on Fridays. Also, other videos throughout the week on TikTok and Instagram, where you can find us. Pretty much if you just search Tickets Please, you'll see our logo that I designed. That is a decent logo, but is not a permanent one. So if you have any suggestions and you know artist friends, let us know. But yeah, we'll get right into it, Carson, with Expedition Everest. So I got a little bit of history for you, and then we'll jump into just an overview of the ride.
Sounds good, man. Let's do it.
So Expedition Everest is a roller coaster and also has dark ride portions, which is located in Animal Kingdom in Orlando, Florida. Animal Kingdom is a park in Walt Disney World. It was the fourth park built in Orlando. The opening day for Animal Kingdom was April 22nd, 1998. Animal Kingdom was the idea. Gotta do that again. Animal Kingdom was an idea from Joe Rohde, a legendary Disney Imagineer. And Joe Rohde is also the one who designed Expedition Everest. So that's pretty cool that he was able to see everything through and give a big e-ticket to the park that he opened, or helped design. And when he was pitching, Joe Rohde was pitching the idea of Animal Kingdom. A lot of the uppers at Disney weren't so sure about a zoo because that adds a lot of just additional factors into a theme park, like when you're going to be open, feeding the animals. You add a zoo into a theme park, and they weren't even sure that animals would have that big of an impact. And so Joe Rohde brought in a 400-pound Bengal tiger into the Disney room with then CEO Michael Eisner to show him the impact that animals have. And then Animal Kingdom was greenlit. And so I love you, Joe Rohde. That's one of the most metal things I've ever heard doing. I'm going to start doing that in all my meetings at work where I have to pitch something. I'm going to bring in a tiger to reinforce my ideas.
Just bring in a little plushie of it.
I'm bringing in a real tiger.
The OG.
I'll just bring in my
it.
cat, and she'll scare. I've seen her scare grown men. She'll get the job done.
There you go. Paint her orange and with black stripes.
Oh yeah, she actually already has orange stripes. She already has a little bit of tiger in her. That she's ferocious. But Animal Kingdom cost around $800 million to build, which was a big chunk of change, near $1 billion. And on opening day, Michael Eisner, who was the CEO of the Disney company in the 90s and 80s, I believe, and everyone knows Michael Eisner because he was everywhere when we were young, and he was the one that kind of revived Disney and then kind of took it down a path that didn't quite work as well. So a complicated figure, but an interesting one in the theme park world. But this was what he read on opening day. Welcome to a kingdom of animals, real, ancient, and imagined. A kingdom ruled by lions, dinosaurs, and dragons. A kingdom of balance, harmony, and survival. A kingdom we enter to share in the wonder, gaze at the beauty, thrill at the drama, and learn. So, Carson, when I read that quote from you, anything stick out in that quote?
The Imagine part sticks out.
Yeah,
to me.
Absolutely, because
the
Animal Kingdom, in concept when it was being built, was made up of the animal kingdoms of current animals, dinosaurs, and imaginary animals like dragons and unicorns. That was supposed to be a part of Animal Kingdom. They were going to have I think it was called Beastly Kingdom, where they had a dragon roller coaster was planned, a unicorn walkthrough attraction was also planned. But due to a number of factors, including that Euro Disney cost a ton of money and was a huge sink that didn't quite work out, and also 2001's terrorist attack on 9/11 also like destroyed tourism, and so Animal Kingdom like saw a lot of like what was going to be planned had to change because Disney wasn't going to put a bunch of money in when people weren't going. But day one of Animal Kingdom, it had real animals and real dinosaurs with the ride Dinosaur at Animal Kingdom, which is going away in 2026. So if you want to ride Dinosaur one last time, make sure you get on that because that's going away.
Is it really?
Going away. They're replacing it with Indiana Jones. I'm okay with it. I love Dinosaur, the ride, but I hate Dino Land USA in Animal Kingdom. It's just a bad themed part of a theme park that like didn't match to the rest of Animal Kingdom at all. Like even a little bit. Like Pandora, the Avatar land, somehow matches Animal Kingdom infinitely better than like a cheap, tacky Dino Land USA did. And so I'm not gonna miss it too much. But I am gonna miss the ride Dinosaur. I don't really understand why Florida can't just add stuff in perpetuity because they have all this goddamn room down in Florida. Like, they're not landlocked. They must own everything down around Orlando. Everything is Disney themed. Like, there's plenty of land around there. Just keep Dinosaur updated and then also add Indiana Jones. But I know that's not what's going to happen. So, Carson, we'll try to get us down to Orlando before it goes so we can ride it one last time and say bon voyage to our friend Dinosaur.
I would love that. And instead of Indiana Jones, I was personally hoping for hearing a Heffalumps and Woozles replacement instead. But that's just the Pooh Bear fan in me. That's all.
Oh, I was like, Heffalump. I thought it was Doctor. You said that, and my mind went to Dr. Seuss, and I was like, no, that's not Disney. No. But that's a great idea. But that would be in Magic Kingdom because Pooh Bear is already in Magic Kingdom. He already has a ride, so that's where they would have to put that.
Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, if I remember correctly.
They're also making an Encanto ride. Some kind of Encanto experience.
Ooh.
So that's cool.
Ooh, that'd be so cool. What if part of the ride? What if the part of the ride was like, oh, everybody who used to remember you is now gone and is also in the afterlife. So it's time for you to disappear entirely.
No, Encanto, not. You actually are right though because they're also making a Coco ride.
I got that mixed up. You know what? Keep it in. I'm human.
Hey, it's all good. They're making a Coco ride in Disney California Adventure. And they're making a Encanto ride in Disney World.
You're right. Encanto is the like somewhat sentient house.
Yeah,
right?
with like the great music
with the family.
The family.
Yeah.
Yeah. It better be. We don't talk about Bruno. That's all I know. I better hear that on that ride.
Oh, true.
But
all the rats. Yo, that'd be fun.
Yeah. So just a great dark ride is what I'm hoping for that. But yep. Back to the history. In 2003, after the tourist economy started to come back after 9/11, Expedition Everest was announced on the 5th anniversary of Animal Kingdom, giving Animal Kingdom it's like a really big needed e-ticket. Even today, people talk about Animal Kingdom as like a half-day park, which is like the most Disney thing ever. I actually love Animal Kingdom. I think it's the best themed theme park, if that makes sense. Like, I just think everything works at Animal Kingdom. I think it's, like, really beautiful. I like all the animals. I think all the rides are banging, except Dino Land USA, which is why I will not shed any tears for that going away, because I think it ruins the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Also has great food. And so question of the day, out of the 4 themed parks, I'm not saying it's the best one. I'm not saying, because I don't think it is, out of the 4 Walt Disney World. I just think it's the best themed one. So that's the question of the day. Let us know what you think is the best themed Disney park in Orlando. But yep, so they announced it on the 5th anniversary of Animal Kingdom, but they had already started construction on it a few months prior, and construction took 3 years to build, which seems like a very long time. I'm not sure the average time for like a roller coaster, but that seems like a long time. And it cost let me see here. According to MachineDesign.com, it took 3 years and more than 38 miles of rebar, 5,000 tons of structural steel, and 10,000 tons of concrete to build this mountain. It also cost $100 million, which at the time gave it the record for most expensive roller coaster ever made. That has since been beaten, though, by 3 rides that we have not been on, Carson. Those rides are the Hagrid's in Islands of Adventure in Universal, Velocicoaster, also next to Hagrid's in Islands of Adventure, and Cosmic Rewind in Epcot in Disney. Those are all more expensive than Expedition Everest was. But
Is Cosmic Rewind, remind me? Is Cosmic Rewind the one where it's like in the center globe and it's like a dark ride?
no, that'd be ridiculous if that cost more than $100 million.
That's why I was thinking. That's what crossed my mind. I was like, no way is that one.
They just had
more
they had to
expensive.
pay Dame Judy Dench a bunch of royalties.
Right.
No, the ride in Epcot is called that's Spaceship Earth. The Cosmic Rewind is a new ride. It's a roller coaster, Guardians of the Galaxy themed, and apparently it kicks ass. I have not been on it. I've seen nothing about it. I refuse to look into it before riding it. But apparently it's one of the best rides ever, and so I'm excited to get on it when it happens. But that cost a pretty penny, even if you take the $100 million in 2003 and adjust it for inflation.
Oh, I know it. I know which one you're talking about now. That one's another like cinematic dark ride. Yeah,
Yep.
that one. It's really cool.
But it's a roller coaster. Apparently it rips.
Yes.
Largest indoor roller coaster, I believe. Don't fact check me on
It, Interesting.
But the tallest attraction in all Disney properties is this ride, Expedition Everest, clocking in at 199.5 feet, which is just under 200 feet, which is the aviation limit. If it's above 200, it needs to have like a big antenna on top of it, like one of those blinky red antennas to let people know, to let pilots know that they're getting close to the ground, But they thought that would ruin the aesthetic of the big, beautiful mountain, so they opted to not make it taller than that, which I think is correct. It would kind of
Yep.
ruin the aesthetic to be like, well, there's a giant thing on top of that mountain.
Yep. Exactly. Unless they did some sort of like, secret snow base up there for someone who's trying to hunt the Yeti, but that would take more money to probably build that and make it look real.
But as you mentioned, they have the Yeti up there in this ride. That bad boy is clocking in at 25 feet tall and over 4 tons. Can you believe that?
I honestly, yeah, I do believe it because there's a lot of structure and detail in that ride.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that structure in just a second because it's quite interesting. I would personally love to see this Yeti somewhere else in the park. I just want to be able to go take my picture with a 25-foot Yeti. I don't know, like I
I
just want
know,
that.
dude. Right?
Uh,
It's amazing to see it. Yeah, we'll talk about it, but it's so cool.
I just want to be able to like look at it and like get near it because it's so cool. 25 feet is amazing. I would just love to
Hmm.
be able to get up near it and see how its totality. But speaking of that Yeti, so this structure is built interestingly. It is actually 3 separate structures. So you have the Yeti and its pillar, which is one structure, the track, and the mountain. And all 3 of those structures interact, but they're separate. And so because of this, in 2006, after the ride opened for a few months, the Yeti's figure, because it weighed so much and moved, the Yeti would like swing down at the train as it went by. It looked like it was trying to take a swipe at you. It split its structure. It split its base of its like concrete base, like cracked it down the middle. And so they were worried that if they continued to operate it as it was going to fall on top of people. It was going to like just take down the whole ride. So now the Yeti operates in permanent B mode, which is like strobe light underneath the Yeti, which the fans of this ride and Disney in general have nicknamed it Disco Yeti, because which is pretty good.
It's very real. Yeah.
I feel
No, I
like
love
Disney's
that.
missing out on some merch opportunities there with the Disco Yeti. Like, give me
Yes.
some merch with Disco Yeti on it, Disney. That's like, I feel like that prints money.
Exactly. Just do what the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints did with the Book of Mormon Broadway musical. Just embrace what's going on and
Lean in, baby.
put the ad in. Yeah.
Yeah, so now it's in permanent B mode. My one cool thing about this though is that my family, we like I said before, we grew up in the Midwest. Vacations were hard to come by. My dad, at his job, was able to work for a year. He took a year-long test essentially, and if you passed this test with proficiency, your reward was like you got a vacation. Like it was like a paid vacation, though not all expense paid, but it was mostly like the tickets and whatnot. And that's how we went to Disney. My dad worked his ass off, so thank you, Papa, for the Disney trip back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And we went down, and it just happened to be 2006, right when it opened, and I saw the Yeti move. That's my one claim. That's my one theme park
That's
like
cool.
unique thing. Yeah,
Oh,
because
I'm jealous of that.
I remember ducking out of the way of the Yeti, and I would be like, "It swiped at me, mom." And so that's my one. Like we rode it like we had a great time. We'll get into that in our personal experience, but super
Mhm.
cool to see the Yeti actually move. Many fans still speculate that the Yeti will be fixed. Joe Rohde, the guy who made Expedition Everest, said he would fix it, but he retired. But I do believe he found the issue. It's more of the problem that people say they can't fix it because like it would just be impossible. Like, how do you fix a structure? Like, how do you fix a split base? But I think the actual problem is that it's the Yeti structure is inside of a building which has a track laid over it. So it's just like super complicated, and the amount of money and downtime that would take to fix it, Disney's probably like no. And now that it's been off for I think like 19 years, I bet the Yeti doesn't even work. I doubt they're like
For sure.
stress testing the Yeti, so I bet that doesn't even work. So I think we're stuck with Disco Yeti. I don't think it's ever gonna go back to non-Disco Yeti, but you can go look up a video about it, and you can go watch a Discovery Channel. They did like a documentary about this ride, so you can go watch it there and see it like swipe down and how it was supposed to move. You can also see Joe Rohde, which is pretty cool, the Imagineer. Um, but so far, with the updates to Animal Kingdom, as I mentioned earlier, they're getting rid of Dino Land USA. They haven't said anything that I could find about this ride, but it doesn't mean it won't change in the future. But I think with both Pandora and the South America expanding in the future, I don't believe they're going to get rid of anything on this side of the park. I think this is one of the best weenies, the theme park weenies that there ever was, the
Mhm.
giant mountain, Disney's tallest structure. I think it's going to be there for forever. But maybe they'll update the Yeti at some point, but I don't think that's coming soon.
Yeah. No, I think I totally agree with you. Uh, it's just it's amazing when you're at the top of it too. Look, we'll talk more about that in a second, but yeah, I would be heartbroken if it actually ended up getting anything about it changed because it's God, it's just so good.
They can change it, just don't make it worse. Like, get the Yeti working if you want, but don't take this right away from me because I will be mad. It's a beautiful. It would be crazy to do that. It's a beautiful structure. Keep it. That's my plea. But yeah, that's pretty much the history of the ride. But Carson, now we're gonna jump into the ride overview, which you are gonna read for our lovely audience, so they don't have to hear me yap the entire episode.
Oh, they love hearing you yap, dude. It's amazing.
We
Oh,
got to balance. It's a balance.
Expedition Everest overview. Start in Asia part of the park and look for the giant mountain, one of the very best weenies in all theme parks next to Kali River Rapids. Side comment, I think that's a very chill ride. I like it a lot. I recommend it as a family ride. And get on the queue for Expedition Everest. Go through a wonderful queue that is perfectly themed to the Himalayas. There are fun articles talking about Yeti and the Forbidden Mountain. The tour company, Himalayan Escapes Travel Agency, progresses to a replica temple with little holy figures. Visitors next enter a tea garden, followed by a room with equipment from a successful expedition, and then the Yeti Museum, which contains information on the Yeti and a molding of a Yeti footprint. There are also about 8,000 artifacts brought from the Nepal trip in the museum. The single rider line skips all of the exhibits. It used to
Yep.
be a tea company, then they found out about the Yeti and are trying to make a buck of tourists, even though the locals do not want to do that.
Yep. So that's a quick overview of everything leading up to the ride. So yeah, it's actually interesting because if you are in the queue, you can look around and see like a lot of remnants of like a tea company that used to be there, and that's what they use. That's like the story of the ride is like this tea company used the trains to like get tea shipments through the mountains, and then they discovered the Yeti, and then they were trying to make a quick buck off the tourists, which is why they keep like the advertise like they keep having people go on it because they want people to pay. Uh, and but the queue itself, it may be the best queue in all of Disney. It is such a great queue. It is perfectly themed. You're in, as you said, you're in the Asia part of the Animal Kingdom, and everything is in this part of the park is dressed up to look like it's in the Himalayas. There's also a great restaurant and like food. It's both a sit down and a place you can just order and grab from called Yak and Yeti. They got some of the best food in all Disney parks, and they have gluten free options for everyone who's affected with gluten problems, just like me and Carson. and they have great options there. And then you can eat that and then go on Expedition Everest. But yeah, but the queue is really outstanding, really designed well. Just like it really feels like it's just right out of the Himalayas. It also has the like it has a tea thing that you can look in the background. There's also a fun thing called the Yeti. Like that's like what their tea is called. So a fun little pun there. They also have the Yeti Museum, which like actually has like a bunch of articles you can read that are like fun notes about like the Yeti footprint, and then they also have over 8,000 real artifacts that Disney brought back from Nepal when they went there. So just it really feels great. If you've ever watched anything about Everest, it just feels like it's straight out of that. Like think they did a great job designing this queue, which will come up later in the worth it indicator test. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I love it too. I was trying to think through what I remember from my personal experience with it. Um, yeah, I mean, I just remember really enjoying the immersion of it. I remember uh, feeling already a part of that ride in the queue itself, which is really fun. I don't feel that very often. The only other times I felt that was Haunted Mansion or the Tower of Terror, actually. But
yeah,
yeah, I thought
two
that.
other great queues. Haunted Mansion has a
Hmm.
great queue, and this queue it makes that's the perfect word, immersion. It makes you feel perfectly immersed in the world. This is actually one of the only queue that my dad when we first rode this, my we had a we rope dropped it. And what rope drop means is at Disney you can like line up and like when the park opens, like you get in let in with a rope, and then you pick out your rides. But we went in a downtime, and I actually think we had magic hours, so we got to go there early. And we just walked straight through the queue and got on the ride. And my dad was like, I want to be in the queue though. There's all this fun stuff to look at and articles to read." He was like, he was complaining because we waited like 2 hours for Rock and Roller Coaster, and that queue sucks. It's atrocious.
The queue, yeah, yeah, the queue's boring.
Like, there's absolutely nothing to look at. There's like, it's terrible. But this queue has everything. And my dad was like, "Oh, I kind of want to go back and look at that stuff." So if that's what we're talking about in a queue, you know they did a great job.
Yep, I agree.
But now I will read through the actual ride experience so you know what you're getting into. So the riders board the trains in the model village of Zirka Zong to begin a speedy route through the Himalayas to the base of Mount Everest. The train blows its whistle and departs the station to the right and climbs a small lift hill leading to a short drop, then circles around to the 112-foot lift hill, carrying the riders into the mountain. On the way up, it passes through a ransacked temple with murals of a Yeti, warning the riders that the mountain is its territory. A noise can be heard during this lift hill and foreshadowing that the Yeti will attack. At the top of a mountain, the train curves around the main peak and goes through a small cave. When it emerges the other side, the train quickly stops at the top of the hill because the track has been shredded by the Yeti. You then pause there for a moment as the track switches and you begin to go backwards. The train then rolls down back along a new route because it's a track switch, and eventually comes to a stop in a large dark cave where the riders see the Yeti shadow on the walls as it tears up more track. This effect distracts riders from noticing another automatic track switch, and as the shadow moves away, the train rolls forward out of the mountain, going past the ride on camera, plunging down the 80-foot drop. It enters a 250-degree turn and speeds up through another cave in the mountain when the roars of the Yeti are heard once more. The train exits from the rear of the mountain and enters a large helix before being lifted back into the mountain a final time. The train drops through a cave where an audio animatronic of the Yeti is reaching down towards the train. Upon reaching the bottom, the riders return to the loading dock and depart to the gift shop. This ride lasts 2 minutes and 50 seconds. That's a quick overview of the ride. But yeah, so when I was a kid, we can get into our personal experiences now, Carson. I will let you go first. What was your personal experience riding this ride?
First, that was poetry in motion, Austin. Thank you very much. Clap. You can hear the claps from the audience already. Clap, clap, clap,
Oh
clap,
yeah,
clap, clap.
thank
Thank you,
you.
Austin. My turn. So, when I was yes, well, for this ride, the first time I rode it was my junior year of high school. We were you in marching band at that time, junior year?
Oh yes, I wasn't. I did not go on this trip
You
though.
didn't go on the trip. That's right. Okay. So Austin and I used to be in marching band. I went all 4 years, and Austin
I
went.
quit.
Yes. But anyway, um, when we went for the Thanksgiving Day parade for one of our travel years at the end of the season, marching band season, we got to have it was our band and a couple other bands got to have a section that included Expedition Everest open for extra hours at the end of the night to just those bands. And so myself and a couple other friends rode Expedition Everest over and over and over again. And so we didn't really pay much attention to the cues because we were just so excited to be able to hop on and ride so many times in a row. And man, I what from what I do remember from the queue, I remember like a little laptop on the side, um, that like tea garden aesthetic going on for the researchers and everything like that. Towards the like when you get closer to the entrance of the carts, and then man, I also remember being I'll use the word again immersed in the atmosphere, the environment that that whole thing provides for you as the writer is amazing. And you, I know you're in Orlando, Florida, but the vision makes you feel like you are right there on the mountain, taking a quick ride up to the top of it. And then I remember I sat in the front every single time we rode the ride, and so I remember getting up to the very top of the mountain where the spoiler alert, the track is quote unquote busted. Like it's supposed to look like that. It's all ripped apart. And so you can if you're at the front of it, you can look through it and you can see the some more of the animal kingdom spread out before you when you're up in that almost 200 feet in the air. It's really cool, and you pause there for like a good, what would you say, Austin, like 3 or 4 seconds?
I think it might be longer than that. I think it's like 10 to 15. You really get some time up there. They really because that's when the first track switch happens.
Mm-hmm.
So like the track underneath you is like for a little before you like getting replaced.
Right.
So that's why you go back down. But yeah, you're up there for a good long while.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's probably why it felt like forever because yeah, it probably was 10 to 15 then. But it's a beautiful view from and especially at night. God, it's so cool. And so anyway, yeah, that's when I felt to go backwards for the first time because I my first time I rode it, I did not expect that. I was like, "Oh, whoa, is this are are we done? Is it just gonna like let us go back?" No, it shot us backwards. I was like, "Oh man!" And then it uh I remember the cinematic next, the little shadow cinematic of the Yeti. Spoiler alert, sorry, ripping up the track again. And then I remember, I'm guessing that's more time, so the tracks can switch again down below you. Um, and then I remember just being shot forward again. And then the ride through the rest of the mountain was so cool. Like it would take you through tunnels, back out again, swinging you around. The pacing is great. The speed is awesome. The atmosphere is so fun. And finally, when you enter that last big old tunnel where you can hear the Yeti growling and uh, what's the word that I'm looking for? Screaming basically at you.
Yep,
That's when you see
roaring.
yep, roaring, thank you. That's when you see Disco Yeti reaching out for you, trying to ask you for a little dance. And then
A
yep,
blink
that's
and
when
you'll
you get
miss
the
it
ride.
though. The Yeti goes by fast.
It's fast. Like it I that's why I'm glad I rode it a couple times cuz I got the full picture because of those couple of rides of what the Yeti actually looked like. And got to take in the all of that 20 you say 25-foot Yeti?
25 foot, 8,000 pound Yeti.
Yeah, I mean, it is it's impressive. But when I first saw it, I only saw its face, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And the second time I went, I saw its hand, and I was like, "Oh, that thing! That's a giant hand! That's so cool!" And then I went again and saw more of like the fur detail. Like it looks like his fur is hanging off of him. It's
Yeah,
really
he's
good
like
design.
draped in it. It's an amazing Yeti design. Like
Hmm.
such a great Yeti design. That's why I want to be able to look at it somewhere else in a park. But yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
Um,
so that was my full experience, man. Your turn. What was yours like?
yeah, so it's funny because like I said like I think we had like the magic hours or like the early hours
Hmm.
of the Disney park. So it was just me and my family. It was my dad and my sister in the front. Of they were in the very front car, and then it was me and my mom in the back. And there might have been other people there, but I also think it was just us because there was not that many people there at Animal Kingdom that day.
Oh, okay.
And we ran to this ride because we had like it was we just wanted to go on it. I wanted to go on it desperately because I loved. mythical creatures as a kid and as a man now. I still love. Uh, Sorry, my cat sneezed and it confused me. Uh, I loved mystical animals like cryptids as a young man, and I still love them as an adult. And so I was like, I want to see this goddamn Yeti. I want to see it. And so when the Yeti part came up, I had like eyes bulging out of my sockets, staring up because I wanted to see it. But yeah, we got on it, and I was pretty scared because I was like, I wanted to see the Yeti, but I was kind of nervous about roller coasters. I wasn't a big roller coaster guy. This was, I think, my second or third roller coaster ever. So I was just kind of just getting used to it. But then yeah, you go up the track hill. You go back down. You shoot back. Going backwards like blew all of our minds because we didn't know that was going to happen. So it was just like super cool to have that moment. I do not remember the animation with the Yeti. I don't know why. I don't remember that the first time. That part of the ride apparently used to have fog. Like they would pump in fog to make it like more mysterious.
Really?
And I do believe I remember that for the first time because we went right when it would have opened, so that effect still would have been working. But then you shoot back down the mountain. Like I said, my eyes were bulging out of my sockets because I wanted to see that Yeti. And yeah, that's what I remembered. I remember just staring up, looking for the Yeti because I wanted to see it so bad. But then my second experience which was as an adult years later, was with my wife, who was also on that band trip with Carson. She was my girlfriend at the time. She's my wife now. But she also rode this. I think she rode this ride like 12 times that night because you guys were just able to keep going on it and on it, which is pretty cool.
Right.
I do have one complaint though. Why Animal Kingdom closes at 7 or 6 on some days, and they're like, well, the animals have to sleep. Totally get that. What is this bullshit with a band being let in? Why, like, they didn't make an exception for the band? Why can't it always be open late then? I want to ride this ride at night.
Just letting the rides go. Oh, dude, it was such a cool. It was dark. It was night. It wasn't even dusk. It was nighttime. Straight up nighttime.
I want that. Why can't I ride it, Disney? If you're letting bands in, let me in.
Let's try showing up around Thanksgiving again, just the two of us, and we'll show up with our high school band uniforms and be like, "Oh, we're here with the band."
Just give me like a couple nights a year, Disney. Just help me out.
There you go.
Like, just be like, hey, on November 21st, it's we're open till 12. Come ride Everest. I'll be there. But anyway, second time we got on it, we barely had to wait in line as well, just because like it was a slower day, and we went to Everest first. After eating at Yak and Yeti, which is delicious. Highly recommended if you're going to Animal Kingdom, get some food at Yak and Yeti. But we got on this ride, and I immediately was like, am I too old for roller coasters? I was like, I felt my stomach drop when we were going up the lift hill, and then shooting back down. My stomach was like, just like dropping out of my body, and I was like, oh boy. And then we get to that dark scene, and a couple of funny things happened because I was riding with my wife, but there was a bunch of kids on the ride. And this is a pretty scary ride for kids, just like parents. Just so you know,
They start
it can be very frightening. Oh yeah, there was a little boy behind us who he was like, I can't do it. Let me off the ride. I can't do this. And then there was and then his parents were comforting him. And then there was a father and a daughter, and the dad was giving the daughter a pep talk. He was like, "It's okay, honey. You can do this. We're gonna get through it, and it's gonna be fine." And she was like, "Okay." And then I looked over at my wife, and she was trying to center herself. Did like 3/4 of the sign of the cross, just trying to like find God in the moment to get through the rest of the ride.
She grabbed the energy in the air and went yoink.
But it was just so funny. And then you go down and you see Disco Yeti, but we still had a great time on the ride. And it was just a really fun animatronic. She was like, I don't know how I rode that 12 times. And I was like, when you're younger, you bounce when you're younger. You're more pliable. The older you get, you feel everything. But it's a pretty great ride. Definitely get on it if you have not. It's definitely worth your time. But yeah, and also a little bit about the trains. So Expedition Everest has 6 steam-like trains, each with 6 cars. Each train has 17 rows with 2 seats per, total of 34 riders. The trains are also, the trains are also themed to make them look old and rusty. And actually, like, the engine part of the train is actually in the very back of the train car, which is kind of interesting. But They're pretty simple. They just kind of look like mine carts or like trains you get on, but they match the theme perfectly. Feel like
Hmm.
you're going. Even when you're in the loading area, you can actually look over just like past the loading area where you eventually get off, and there's like gear for the hiking the mountain for like Everest. There's all that like multicolored gear that you would see if you watched anything about Everest or ever looked up any photos. But it's pretty cool to see, and it perfectly puts you in the mood. The ride also starts, and like you said, Carson, like you're in Orlando, but they do a great job of building anticipation within the ride because you don't go on the lift hill right away. You hit a couple of turns around like the foothills of what would be the mountain, and it's like the plant life is themed to be the Himalayas, and so it
Hmm.
does it's a great primer to get
Yep,
ready for the ride.
I
But
agree.
yeah, and let me read some stats for you folks here about the speed of this bad boy. Give me one sec, Carson.
I'm just sitting while I'm waiting, I'm just sitting here being so jealous of you being able to see the Yeti swinging over you. I bet that was so
Yeah, it was.
cool.
It's like it's the only cool theme park thing I have. It was awesome. I really cause I remember ducking out of the way, and that's why I know I saw it. And we had a great time, me and my family, on this ride. But yeah, this ride height is 112 feet. The drop is 80 feet. Length 3,884 feet. Top speed 500. Zero inversions. Duration 250. Capacity 250 riders per hour. And G force, you get up to 3 Gs. And you have to have a height of 44 inches to ride. And also, if you're under 7, you have to have an adult with you, just so you know.
I
But
think it
yeah,
is.
that's
I think the ride does a really good job playing around with the physics of it all too. Like who was the engineer you said?
Joe Rohde.
Rhodey did a wonderful job playing around. I was watching a roller coaster engineer a couple days ago talking about um, how engineers purposely play around with G-force, and that's what helps you have those feelings of like floating in midair for a split second before you drop again. And I think this ride does a really good job with that. It's pers with my very beginner's opinion, it feels like a work of art because it feels so balanced.
Absolutely. It's a perfectly balanced ride. That's why people love it. And even, it's actually, the top speed is only 50 miles an hour, which is slower than Screaming Eagle, the ride we covered last week.
Hmm.
But because you're going backwards at points, because you're going in a circle at points, it really feels like like you said, they play perfectly with it. It's perfectly balanced in like the 250 degrees when you just keep going in a circle for like
Hmm.
3 or 4 loops. That was the part that I was like, "Am I gonna barf?"
Right.
Because because you're just hitting it in a different way. But yeah, I think you said it perfectly. Fun fact about the ride: if you walk across the Forbidden Mountain in the Asia part of the park, there is like a small pond you can walk around. If you walk around and you like find yourself perfectly across from Expedition Everest, there's actually a small shrine that perfectly replicates the mountain. So that's pretty cool. A little
Oh,
nice
that's
little
cool.
attention to detail. Definitely check that out if you're in Animal Kingdom.
They do a really good job with stuff like that around all four sections of the
Oh
park.
yeah. And in the Asia land part of Animal Kingdom, there's also Kali River Rapids, which is like a whitewater rafting experience. That's super fun. The animals in this part of the land, they have the tiger, bats, gibbons, which are monkeys, Komodo dragons, and lion-tailed macaques and birds.
That's cool.
Uh,
That's a good selection.
yeah, the tiger and the Komodo dragon definitely is worth your time. People always are just like go to Animal Kingdom again on the rides. Take your time. It's a full day park, baby. Just enjoy the wildlife, enjoy the ambiance, and really let yourself enjoy the experience that Animal Kingdom has to offer. But also, Expedition Everest forms one of the largest hidden Mickeys. If you look at it from space, the track and the mountain make a giant Mickey Mouse head,
Oh,
which is
that's
pretty
so
cool.
cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and if you're watching the video version of this, you can actually see that right now as I'll put it in. So give that a look.
Ooh, fancy.
Another fun fact about this ride, Carson, is it's called Expedition Everest: Legend of the Forbidden Mountain, because you're not actually on Everest. You're summiting. You're trying to get to like the base of Mount Everest so you can go up, which you have to do it in real life. So you're actually on the Forbidden Mountain, which is why the Yeti lives there because it's forbidden.
There you go. That's
But you're
cool.
not actually on Everest. So fun little fact for you.
Oh, because you're on the expedition of it.
You're on the Forbidden Mountain. trying to get to Everest, but you never get there because there's a Yeti.
Oh, look at that. They figured it out.
Oh
No
yeah,
plot holes.
storytelling, baby.
Yep.
There's also one thing I really do not like about this ride. Only one thing. Actually, there's two things. One is that a lot of the effects that were there opening day do not work anymore. That's a bummer for me. Like, the Yeti doesn't work. There used to be steam that would shoot out from the trains when you would get on to really sell the steam effect. That doesn't work anymore, or at least it's not on, and they definitely don't do the fog anymore. So that's pretty lame. Also, I don't know if this was the case with you, Carson, because this was definitely not the case when I first went on it. But I went on it a couple years ago. When you get to the top of the mountain, when the track is all ripped up, people throw hair ties to be on top of the mountain.
Do they
and
really?
So when I went up there was like hundreds of hair ties. I hate that. Stop putting hair ties on this ride, people.
Yeah,
It's trash.
that
You're
takes
making
away
people
from
clean it
it.
up. You're making people clean it up. It reminds me of actual Everest because there's a bunch of trash, human waste and trash on Everest.
Is there
from all the
really?
people that because people go up the mountain, but you don't take your shit back down because the descent's hard, and so you just leave all your shit up there.
Oh
And so
my god, I didn't know that.
John Oliver has a bit. He covers and talks about Everest and how it's like you shouldn't climb it anymore. You achieve nothing, and you leave trash everywhere. You also have to walk past dead bodies to get to the top. You're like, it's like walk 100 feet, turn left at the body wearing green shoes. I don't want to do that. I also don't want to think about that when I'm on the Disney ride. So stop putting hair ties on the goddamn ride.
Exactly.
And also, I can't get on this ride at night because fucking Disney closes at 7 unless you're a band.
Maybe if this podcast gets big enough, Disney will cut a deal with us, and you can finally take that ride at night.
Let me get on this ride at night, Disney. It seems perfect for it. Also, Pandora, the Avatar land in Animal Kingdom, glows in the dark at night, but no one can see it because the park's not open.
That's so what? Then why do that?
Because it was open before COVID, but after COVID, they were just like, no.
Oh yeah, true.
But that sucks. Bring it back. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the ride. And we're about to jump into the worth it indicator to tell you where it falls on our scale of excellent theme park attractions. As always, this test is ever changing and has a new test in it today. We're back to the full 10 questions because this is a big, chunky ride and it deserves a big, chunky quiz to evaluate how great it is. But yeah, unless, Carson, you have anything else, we'll jump right in.
Let's get to it, man.
All right, to the worth it indicator. The first test, as always, is the accessibility test. So how accessible is this ride for all types of people? Disney gives you this warning. Some parts of Expedition Everest, Legend of the Forbidden Mountain, may be scary for children. This attraction features loud noises, fast drops, high speeds, dark places, and frightening creature effects. As mentioned earlier, you got to be 44 inches tall. If you're under 7, you can't ride by yourself unless you're accompanied by an adult. There's no specific weight for any Disney attraction, and it's just kind of up to your body type. It's a lap bar, and people anecdotally have fit up to this ride, and they've been up to like 325 pounds, just as like a reference for you. This ride does not offer any service animal accommodations. It does allow you to do the rider switch, which is if you're with someone as a service animal, like, and you have 2 people, one of you can stay with the service animal, and then you switch when you get back, but you don't have to wait in line, which is nice.
It is nice.
And you can get on this ride if you are in a wheelchair, but you must be able to get in and out on your own power. So if you can't get up from your wheelchair, you can't get in this ride. You also can't be pregnant on this ride, which I feel is more common sense than anything else.
Yeah.
Because it's a goddamn roller coaster. You also shouldn't ride with back, neck, blood, or heart issues. And Walt Disney World does offer assistive listening, so they have sign language interpretation. They also have some devices you can take with you that you can hear like captions and like closed captioning things, and also that's more of a reach out. So they have some options, but not a ton. For me, I gave that a score of 3.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I'll agree with you on that one. I'm also gonna give it a 3.
Yeah, I felt it was right in the middle of like what it's like a roller coaster, so it can't have all the accommodations just by the nature of it.
Right.
I should mention now that somebody did pass away on this ride. They had a heart attack on this ride, so that's why if you have a heart problem, do not ride this ride because you don't want to end up like it was just an unfortunate situation that we do not make light of. But those are just some things to consider. So accessibility, I feel like it falls right in the middle for roller coasters. I gave that a 3.
Me too. Me too. Didn't you storytell
And
it?
test number 2, wait times. How long is the average wait time for the ride? Does the wait time hinder or help the ride? Does the ride warrant the wait time? So the average wait time, as of this recording, is 30 minutes. The maximum wait time recorded is 180 minutes. It's actually not that bad. It's 3 hours, but I was expecting more. This ride does have a really great capacity for roller coasters. That's why it's able to keep that. Because sometimes, like the Star Wars ride is like 450 minutes max wait time. So 180 minutes. It's a long time, but it's not that bad. The highest recorded wait time today, as of recording, which is August 13th, was 42 minutes. It also has lightning lane accessibility and a single rider line, which we love here. A single rider line just means that if you're with like a party of 4 and you all decide like, hey, we're going to go on this ride singly, you get to wait in a much shorter line, but you have to ride like you'll be paired with a random person probably. They're just trying to fill space on the ride. I actually don't even know where the single rider line starts for this ride because I have never had to wait that long. But I love the option. I love a good single rider line. Unfortunately, this single rider line does skip all the bitchin' exhibits that the queue has, so just keep that in. So maybe get on this ride. 30 minutes is not a bad wait time. Maybe get on this ride once of the wait time, and then go back through it after you rid it once and gone through the queue with a single rider line because you won't have to wait that long.
Yep.
But I think 30 minutes for this ride is great. It's a roller coaster, but it has dark ride portions. Clocks in just under 3 minutes, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So for me, that totally is like it warrants the wait time. So for me, that's a 5.
Yeah, that's a 5 for me because the queue alone, with all the details and everything in it, like you're not gonna be bored waiting for that 30 minutes either.
No, absolutely not. That's the only queue my dad was like, I actually want to be in this queue. So that says something because my dad is like not like a big Disney guy. So it's a great queue.
Yeah, so
And
that's a 5 for me too.
next test evaluating is thrill level. So for me, I think this is very solid thrill, as we talked about. I think it's perfectly balanced. Only gets up to 50 miles an hour, but you still feel like you're whipping because you actually feel like you're going faster on a roller coaster when it's in the dark. That's why
Mhm.
Space Mountain feels so fast. So for the dark portions, you feel like you're going fast. This was the first Disney ride that went forwards, and backwards for a roller coaster. So that's super, super cool. And the backwards portions are definitely the most thrilling, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Also got it's fun to look out for the Yeti, even though he doesn't work as well as he used to. And I think the dark ride portions are great, little breather as well, and give me that great story of my wife trying to find God
Yeah.
in the middle of the ride. But for me, I gave that a 4, not because it's not good and great, but because specifically thrill level, it could be high. But I think it perfectly balances. Like it's just enough for the thrill seekers, and it's like the most a family would want. So
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the 5 for that myself. Just because I think the Yeti adds a really good thrill factor to it. Disco
oh
Yeti.
yeah, for sure.
So that's what helps me keep it out of 5. If you know, with the balance of it too, I just love it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like nothing, no diss on it, but for me personally, the thrill could be a little higher. But I still love this ride. But moving on to the next test, the land. How good is the queue? Is there shade? Is there stuff to keep you entertained while waiting? What is the switchback design, area of the park, and the ride vehicle? Actually, that's not right. I'm gonna do that again. Sound design and switchback design. So, as we talked about throughout this podcast, I think this is the best queue that Disneyland has to offer. It's one of the best queues. It's definitely up for debate. Definitely top 5, no doubt about it. I think it's maybe the best themed area of maybe the best. Oh my god, best themed park. Like I just think they really nailed the Himalayan aesthetic. It looks exact. If you ever played Uncharted 2, where like you
Yeah.
go to the Himalayas, it feels
Yeah, yeah,
exactly like
yeah.
that. It's
Yep,
amazing.
it really does. Yeah, it's really cool.
They
That's
also
not an
got
exaggeration.
they also got great food. Yak and Yeti, go get your breakfast bowl that's also gluten free. They also have the Cali River Rapids and animals, and you're not going to be bored in this part of the land. There's plenty of even Easter eggs. You can go find that shrine built to the Yeti and to the mountain. So for me, this one knocks it out of the park. It's a 5 out of 5. You don't even notice you're in switchbacks because the switchback design is in the museum or the tea house. But either way, you're in themed areas that don't even feel like switchbacks. So
Yep,
for me, it's a 5 out of 5.
I agree. It's also a 5 for me.
And then we got the vehicle of choice. So what? How do you feel about the ride vehicle itself? What is it? What does it make you when you are you excited to see the ride vehicle? Like for example, like on the one we covered last week, the Screaming Eagle, just a train. It says Screaming Eagle on the top, not really themed. The first ride we covered, Jurassic Park River Adventure, is themed to Jurassic Park. That's a little better. Haunted Mansion, you have the iconic Doom buggies. Where does this stack up? And for me, I think that it's a very solid design of a. I think they nailed the aesthetic. It looks exactly how they wanted it to. It looks kind of like rundown, a little crappy, old, but like it has like the steam engine on the back. But I feel like they could add a little bit more to this attraction. And in terms of the ride, just a little more detail. And so for me, I think it's a 4.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and stick with a 5. I just love this ride. I'm gonna stick with a 5 for this
Hey,
one
that's why
because
we have different tests, baby.
yeah, because I just can't get over how soaked into the moment I was with all those details play a major role in that. I'm sure that there are spots that could have more like you're talking about, but the the aesthetic for what it is at this point in time is just so fun and so engaging. So I'm keeping it at a 5 for me.
Alrighty. Next, we're going to get a little hard on this ride, Carson. I apologize. Through time. So, how has this ride progressed through time? Now, this ride still kicks ass. There's no doubt about it. Through level perfect. Great to see the Yeti. Unfortunately, it just has gotten worse. Like, the Yeti
Yeah.
doesn't work anymore. The steam doesn't work anymore. The fog doesn't work anymore. There's also people
Yeah,
throwing goddamn hair ties on the goddamn ride.
I know it,
Uh,
dude.
and so it just has gotten worse. It's still great. It just needs a little upkeep. For me, that's a 2 though, because I gotta knock it.
Yeah, I'll be a little bit more generous and say a 3, but you're right. Like with those main components not working anymore, it takes away a lot from the experience. So 3 for me,
Like
dog.
I get why the Yeti doesn't work, but I don't understand why they don't do the steam and the fog still. Like do that
Right, right.
and get rid of the hair ties. Ban people
Please,
who are throwing hair ties.
for for any other reason, if not for just helping Austin to be able to let this go, because you can tell it's eating him alive
It's just
inside.
gross, man. I don't know. I was like on top of the mountain. And I was like, ugh. I like did not like it. It's like exactly how I felt. Because you're there for
Take you
like
out of the
10
moment.
seconds, and then instead of looking out and seeing like the rest of the park, I was looking at these hair ties. Anyway, I'll stop. I'll stop mentioning it.
Free, free Austin from the hair ties.
My burden. Uh, Test number 7. Wow moment. Is there a wow moment? Yes, there are several. Getting stuck at the top of the tracks, going backwards. I like the dark room animation because it's really scary for kids. And then, of course, seeing the Yeti. Pick whatever you like. For me, it has plenty of wow moments, enough moments to remember. That's a perfect 5.
Yep, me too. Agreed. You hit all of my points that I was gonna hit.
Hey, sometimes we're on the same page. This next one, though, I feel bad because the next one is cultural impact. Does the ride have an impact outside of itself? Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything for this ride. It really just kind of exists in itself. Disney doesn't, as far as I know, unless I'm wrong. If you are out there and you have Disco Yeti Disney merch, let me know about that. I would love to I would love to get my peepers on that. But it doesn't. I can't find anything. I can't find anything for. They don't have like a movie. There's no like additional shorts. Uh, there's been rumor that like a movie might be made either about the Matterhorn or Expedition Everest. It feels like that would be a pretty good movie. Like I can write that story already. But at the moment, I don't see anything, and so I'm not gonna give it a 0 because I believe it has room to grow and maybe turn into like a movie in the future. So I gave that a 1.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to give that a. I'll be a bit more generous and say a 2. But you're right. Like and I was trying to look around. It's not Disney itself that has the merch for the Disco Yeti or anything like that. So
Oh, people
it's
have, like, Etsy,
people
people have
make it.
definitely made,
People make
but
yeah. It's alive. Like merch is alive because of the people, and
I
that's
want
what's cool
Disney to
about it.
lean
I do
in, Disney.
too. I absolutely do too, because it's a really it's one of their icon to me, it's an iconic ride from Disney, and
Yeah,
so even though it doesn't even though it doesn't have, like, the iconic Disney characters, it's a really yeah, it's a memorable one. So I agree, I'll give it a 2.
yeah. It's actually one of the last ride. I think it's one of the last rides they've made that is not attached to IP. Like most of the stuff they make now is like, oh, Avatar or Pandora or that's the same thing, Star Wars or Winnie the Pooh or something like that.
Yep.
But this doesn't have any of that. It's literally just like go to a mountain and find a Yeti.
Yeah,
But we like that. We like the originality, Disney.
exactly.
Um, but moving on to number 9, is this a must do? If you don't ride this ride, will your experience have been worse? Yes, definitely. If you go to Animal Kingdom and you don't ride Expedition Everest, what are you doing with your life? It's the biggest weenie that Disney has, tallest weenie, 200, nearly 200 feet, just right under it. You can't miss it when you go into the park. And you just got to do it. You're like, how do you not gravitate directly towards Everest? Uh, this is the number one thing you got to do in Everest, or in Animal Kingdom, rather. I think that Flight of Passage and the Safari is also great. I love both those attractions, but my day is not complete unless I'm on Everest. That's a 5 for me.
It's the biggest weenie, it's the best weenie
Oh God,
you've ever seen in your entire life, okay?
I'm
And it's in
listen, I'm
Florida,
from
okay?
I'm from New York. I can't try an imitation. It's too similar. I don't want it.
The people might want it, but anyway, that is not for a theme park podcast. So, no, I'm totally with you, man. 5.
And last question, personalized question for this test: merch. Would you buy stuff based off this ride? I would buy anything based off this ride. I would buy a T-shirt. I would buy a hat. I would buy a mug. I would particularly buy something that had Disco Yeti on it, or just a Yeti plush. But I love cryptids. I love this ride, so I would pretty much buy anything. Another perfect 5 for me.
Yep, me too. It'd be so cool to rock a Disney like a official Disney Disco Yeti shirt across the park.
Yeah, you're leaving money on the table, Disney. Come on. I know you're greedy. I know you like that mun.
You can do it. You could do so many things with that. You could do the like all the different animation styles throughout the different eras of Disney. Like there's so many opportunities for that. You goofballs.
Also, additional item. Let me buy the 25-foot Yeti. Let me buy a replica 25-foot Yeti. I want that.
I mean, it would work for you since you're in the wooded area.
Dude,
You could just
in the
put it out in
I
the
would
woods
put that in the
out your window.
BMW. Oh yeah,
You could just look at it.
that's that's some good stuff right there.
Exactly.
Uh, but yeah, now we will tally up our scores. Mine comes to out of 50, a score of 40, which puts it at a great ride, which is just missing one key element, which I do believe is true for this ride, just because I think if that Yeti's working, I think if the fog's working, I think if the steam's working from the trains, I think this is like a near perfect ride. But just because I experienced it when it was working, I just kind of missed that version a little bit. So I had to knock it a little bit out. What about you, Carson? Where do you have it at?
No, I don't blame you at all, dude. I'm still so jealous of you being able to experience that. Dang it.
Oh yeah.
Um, but no, I got to 43. So I think we're in the same ballpark, right?
Yep, you have it a little higher than me. Makes sense. You're more of a roller coaster guy anyway. I'm more of a dark ride guy. But still, listen, folks, this is one of the best rides out there. You got to get on there.
Mm.
Just enjoy your time. Really immerse yourself. Go to Yak and Yeti before or after. Get some good food. Hit up Everest. Go on Cali River Rapids. Make it a whole thing. Theme it up. You're in a theme park. Dive in. Let yourself believe. And go get scared by the Yeti. But yeah, that's it for this episode. A nice chunky episode coming in over an hour. First episode over an hour, Carson. We're getting better at these. I think this was a great episode talking about Expedition Everest. Like I said, one of your favorite attractions, one of my favorite attractions, probably my favorite roller coaster. Because I just love a themed roller coaster. But yeah, thank you again for listening. Keep with us. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts as well. Pretty much anywhere where you find podcasts, we're at. We also have a YouTube channel that you can subscribe to and get some additional content. But yeah, another great week. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, and thank you for all the engagement we've had up to this point as well. It helps us spread our opinions more on this podcast. We love to just talk about this. And by the way, if you want to engage more in the video portion of this, like in the YouTube comments, for example, um, if you choose to participate by giving your own ratings, I see it as a way to help other people gauge if they want to take the rides, if they want to go on those rides or not that we're talking about. So not only would you help us with engagement, you're also helping other people make decisions for themselves as they plan their next vacations and plan their next rides they want to go on. So, yeah, the more the merrier. Hop on in. We're happy to have you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and Carson, you absolutely nailed it. That is the point of the worth it indicator because it's personalized. So let us know your scores, people. Let us know where you rank this ride. You can help your friends and family know where to rank this ride. Just kind of a fun way to look at a ride and give it, something that is like try to be a little objective with something that is subjective. But we have fun here. But yeah, absolutely share it with people. Let us know what rides you would like us to cover in the future. But until then, this has been Tickets Please. And we'll be back next week covering another attraction with our very first guest. So get ready for that.
Yeah, thank you, folks. Take care.